when you're tackling things like net zero, climate change, there isn't a short term. You need to look into the future. You need to have a plan. You need to set policies in place, long term policies. This short term kind of vision and approach I don't think it's ever going to work. So there needs to be a cross party agreement to say, on climate change, we all agree to support this set of policies, that nobody's going to touch them. Basically, we're just going to, for whatever, even the government, if the government changes, you're smiling.
I'm smiling because I'm thinking,
Utopia.
I know. I'm smiling because I'm thinking, if I'm a rogue party, and I'm not going to give a name to a party, but if I'm a rogue party,
Yeah.
then I will say I've got competitive advantage by not signing up to this cross-party agreement, because I think I could probably get some good leverage in areas where you would be a bit hamstrung. So that's why I smiled.
Though I know, but look where we are with politics. Look, UK, Brexit, looking internationally as well. I mean, I'm not a politician, so I don't really know how politics work. I can only say, as an engineer, if we are actually serious about decarbonization, it's something that it needs to be a long-term vision, and having the incentives in place to achieve that vision.
And so one of the things that I'm working on in my consultancy is storytelling and coming up with a narrative that points more towards a long-term vision,
Okay.
as opposed to the short term. Because the gap that I see at the moment that I'm trying to help bridge, which will bridge this gap that we're referring to, is that when it comes to the decisions that people make, most of them are emotional decisions. They're not logical decisions. And so in order for you to make an emotional long-term decision, then there needs to be something which is not been articulated in a way that it has at the moment. So you got the same from a health point of view. So short-term health versus long-term health. People wouldn't go to make the decisions that they would in terms of getting operated on or having different types of foods or drinks or whatever it is, if they looked at things at the long term. The same is with relationship, the same is with education, the same is with climate change. All of these things, when you look at the long term, it's a different story that needs to be told.
Yes.
So I'm talking here specifically about human behavior,
Yes.
as opposed to technically we know what the answers are. What you're saying is technically we know what the answers are.
Correct.
We know what to do.
Yes.
The system's in place.
Yes.
But how do we get the humans
To make that
to behave?
Yes. And prioritize, you mean prioritize, make decisions, long-term decisions, rather than what is in front of them. I mean, yes, you're right. So there is a level of education and communication to the public, because ultimately, if the public wants it, then they will kind of influence government and policy and all that. Yeah, I don't have the answer to that. I'm sorry.
Nor do I. And I'm not saying that you should have the answer. I'm just it's a gap that I've noticed.
It makes logic. Like, I don't have kids, but if I had kids, I want them to have a secure future. How do I make sure that they have a secure future? Make sure that, they live on an earth that is habitable, that the buildings that they are living in, they actually keep them healthy and happy. So for me, that's a logical kind of way to think about it. But obviously, there are restrictions. It's how much can I afford? You have a budget for your home improvements. What are you going to prioritize? Perhaps not the heat pump. You're going to prioritize changing the bathroom and the kitchen rather than the systems, because they're more energy efficient.
And it's less attractive as well. If I've got friends coming round, they're not going to compliment me on the new heat pump that I've got.
Mine will.
Maybe I need to change my friends then. What do you think? But, in the general speaking, when someone comes around to view the home,
Yeah.
I don't know that at the moment we're in a place where someone's going to come around to purchase a new home and say, love that heat pump.
Yeah.
But they will say, I love this bathroom.
Yes. Yeah.
And this kitchen is wonderful.
Yes. Unfortunately, you're right. Yes. Correct.
And so I'm talking more to that emotional side. And I don't know if there's anything that SIBSI have done yet within looking at how do we look at the human side of this to fit the technology or have the technology fit the human side?
I guess what we are trying to do is raise it as an issue, not specific to technology, but kind of educate the public about certain things that maybe they haven't thought about. When you're buying your home, what are the right questions? Yes, you're looking at the kitchen and the bathroom, but also you might want to ask about orientation. Are your windows too big? Is it going to be a problem of overheating in the summer? What is the energy bill of this? Rather than EPC, ABC, what is actually the energy bill of the home? Same goes with non-domestic offices and all that. It's just homes. It's more like you said, emotional. It's personal, right? This is how much you're going to be spending, heating, cooling, cooking, all that. So, and the newer kind of subject that we are trying to create a video on is the imported carbon. So now people understand the concept of you use less energy if you switch off the lights. But how do you communicate what is the imported energy in something that you're going to buy? What are the kind of implications of choosing A instead of B? So we are going into that kind of storytelling process of, okay, so if I'm going to try and explain that to my parents, how am I going to explain that? And we're working with a kind of animation company and stuff to create that kind of story. So educating. So we're not going to tell them buy a heat pump instead of an air conditioning, but educate them on there is an energy already on everything you buy, every decision you make. There is an energy stored into that kind of piece of equipment, piece of clothing, food, whatever. So yes, to answer your question, we are trying to do that kind of educational piece. But maybe we, as institutions, we need to do more in highlighting big things.
Thanks for watching to the end. I think that you'll like this, but before you do that, just make sure that you've commented and liked below, and also that you subscribed.